Hey guys, Wesley here. Today we will be debating whether evolved MonsterVerse Godzilla can survive the entire Showa era. Let's get into it. Now, let's see. Godzilla, let's go over his stats. So, one of his greatest feats is that, he can pick up the Muro Prime on his back with almost no issue. So, let's go over some of Godzilla's abilities. So, he can use his atomic breath pretty far range. If he's supercharged, he can pulse. So, let's just assume he's supercharged for this. And he can also jump. He could go pretty fast. And he's quite durable. He'll be fighting Anguirus, Hedorah, Jet Jaguar, the Kamacuras, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, and Mothra Larva. Now, let's go over Anguirus. So, MonsterVerse Godzilla would probably pass through here pretty easily. The only thing he really has to look out for are Anguirus' spikes, which could provide some protection, but not for long. Godzilla just has to beam. Now for Hedorah. Hedorah's going to be pretty difficult. Godzilla, if Hedorah just doesn't run away, Godzilla could probably just beam a few times. Maybe, use some melee, and then he gets the job done. But I feel like he could have some amount of trouble on this fight, but I feel like eventually he could do it. Jet Jaguar is probably going to pose quite big of a threat, but if Godzilla just, stays his distance, beams, and maybe pulses a little bit, then he could probably win. But I feel like he would have a bit of trouble with this. The Kamacuras, no issue. Now, I forgot to say this, but Gigan is going to be a pretty difficult fight because his claws, they could do some damage, and his chest saw could do a lot of damage. But, again, those are basically his only weapons, and he's pretty stupid. So, yeah, Godzilla is going to have a little bit of trouble with this, but he should be able to get through it pretty easily. Rodan, basically the only thing he has going for him is his incredible speed and flying, which is probably just going to be pretty annoying only. And I feel like Godzilla could easily be able to take him down. Again, this is MonsterVerse Godzilla. He has his evolved state, and he can pulse, and, he has a pretty wide range of abilities. So, Rodan is going down. Now, King Ghidorah is probably going to be maybe his strongest fight in this. King Ghidorah is probably the strongest one in the Showa era other than Showa Godzilla. So King Ghidorah, let's go over his abilities for a second. So, he has flying. He can fly pretty quick, and he can also shoot his laser beams, which actually they don't really do much. So I feel like that doesn't really matter. And Godzilla could pretty easily get through him, but Godzilla will have some trouble with this since King Ghidorah is actually kind of strong. But he's not too strong to the point where Godzilla can't beat him. So, Godzilla goes through this. Now, Mechagodzilla is probably going to be his toughest fight yet because of, how durable he is. And he has more weapons than most of the kaijus in the Showa era. So, MonsterVerse Godzilla is going to have to use basically everything he's got. And, yeah, he's going to have to beam. He's going to have to pulse. And, since he can jump, he's pretty good in melee, so he obviously will beat up Mechagodzilla in close combat. Mechagodzilla is, again, really slow, and MonsterVerse is kind of fast. So I feel like Mechagodzilla would lose, but with some sort of difficulty. So MonsterVerse wins, probably in high difficulty, I feel like. And lastly, Mothra Larva. Yeah, Mothra Larva is not winning. If you want to see another one of these videos, like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.